Welcome to the Cocktail Club podcast by Cocktail Kompany. And today on our podcast, I have a friend of mine, Navjot, who has won a lot of awards as been best bartender of the country. And he's a director of beverages at the Lair bar in New Delhi, one of my favorite bars in Delhi.
Thank you.
I've been there a very few times, but I've always had a good time whenever I've been there. Thank you for making it for this podcast. I'm really excited to talk to you, Navjot. And you know where I want to actually begin. Tell me about your family. I heard that your family grows sugarcane, which goes into distilleries and things like that. And actually, what I want to ask you is, when was your first interaction with liquor as such?
So coming from a family background which is more into the farming and defense, father was in the army, grandfather was in the army, and now brother, he's serving in the army. So sort of that discipline, what I say, and with farming, what we provide to the sugarcane or to the distilleries and everything, we grew like 5-6 acres of sugarcane at our homeland. So I think I never knew about that this goes to the distilleries and they make the local rums or local liquor.
Okay.
But I got to know later that this goes to the distillery and then and my interaction with the liquor comes very early, because in Punjab, you know what they do is like when you have a cough, cold or something, they give a brandy and honey together. So that was my interaction with the liquor. But later on, when I started understanding liquor more, I think that is because of the army rums, you know, the Triple X, the Contessa, and all the brands. So that was very much like my father used to get a quota from the army, and then I used to see what these bottles are. But after that, like my family entirely left the liquor. They're not into liquor anymore, and I'm the black sheep right now. I'm doing that thing for them. So
you got into schooling where?
So I've come from a very small town called Gurdaspur. It's on right on the Indo-Pak border. Okay. It's just like 10 kilometers away from the border. It's not, so I can literally, and even there's a no man's land and we have a farms there also. So you can take a permission from the army and you can go there and you can do your stuff and you come back in the day. So my schooling is done mostly in Gurdaspur only. Try to and then few of the KVs, because I used to travel with my father from one place to another, because he was getting transfer from one place to another. And then after schooling I've done my graduation. I was very much into cricket. Due to financial reason, I was not able to pursue that, because I was state player for Chandigarh. I used to play I was a fast bowler, by the way.
Oh wow.
So that's got me into fitness, and later on I was not able to pursue that dream. I said, okay, let's take hotel management. Let's do that. Let's see what's there.
Okay. So where did you do your hotel management?
So I have graduated from IHM Gurdaspur. And I was a topper for the college. First year 100% attendance, second year 100% attendance, third year 100% attendance. So that's sort of discipline which I got from my family. So I think that college also helped me at that time a lot. It was a reasonable course, I would say, like very well funded by the government, and then I done that.
So after you finished your hotel management graduation, where did you start off your work with?
So after graduation, my only motto, because I was trained under a lot of management trainees when I was interning. So my only motto was I want to become a management trainee. I want to
crack. So the fascination for beverages started off while you were doing your graduation, when you picked up the subjects?
Yes.
Or it was maybe kitchen and service?
So I think first 3-4 months I was very keen about the bakery. So whenever you see me doing a garnish part, it comes from the bakery for me, because I was very good at it. But then later on, I was exposed to the beverages, this is a world which I want to explore. I was very much into wines. Within 1 year, I think, within first semester, I have read the second and third semester's beverage also. So I used to go to library, because it got me so much interest into it, that this is much you can, there's a lot of things you can do with liquor and the history and everything. So I said, okay, I'm gonna jump into this. This is my forte.
So which was your first job after you finished college?
So when I finished, I graduated, I got my first management training with the Park Hotels. So I was handling Aqua and Kismet in Hyderabad.
In Hyderabad.
In Hyderabad.
This is which year?
This is 2015.
15. Okay.
15. It's like nearly 10 years now.
Okay. So what
So,
shaped your career?
to be very honest, like what shaped my career is like I met good people in my life.
Okay.
Okay, so the people literally pushed me up and I always wanted to look up to them. Like, okay, doing that, like, went into hotels and haven't got much exposure on the beverage because that was like, you don't have a free hand, you can't do much with the liquor. I said, okay, I think I'm going to quit this.
Okay.
I left management training within a year
Okay.
because I haven't got much interest in the hotel. Like, okay, this is where I cannot do my step which I wanted to. At the age of 22, I opened my first, done the pre-opening of my first Victorian style brewery called the Clock Tower, which is in Gurgaon.
Okay.
And I think that literally helped me shaped that how to open a property from a scratch.
Okay. So you were management training with the park, and from there you directly moved to standalone. And opened a bar.
Open a bar in Gurgaon, which is like a huge project for me.
Okay.
I think that happened because my first boss was Rohan Kichlu.
Okay.
He was a WMI, but I think he shaped me a little well because I always look up to him whenever I see the F&B industry.
Great.
So he said, if you're not liking, I'm opening a place, you want to come and join? I said, okay. But were you able to do it? You're so young, you haven't seen the world much. This is just 1 year in the industry. So I said, okay, I'm going to jump in. Let's see what's in the box.
Okay. So what was your role when you got into the...
So my role was to, they hired me as a senior bartender at that time within 1 year. And after 1 year, they promoted me to a bar manager once a started running the property.
Okay.
At that young age, I got a bar manager position. I was learning. To be like, I was exposed to so many things and I made a lot of mistakes. So whenever somebody say that, okay, we are very perfect, like we are perfectionists. No, nobody is, because if you don't make mistakes, you will not learn. So I think I made a lot of mistakes at that time, but that shaped me well because I never repeated them again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you learned from your mistakes.
And learn from my mistakes, of course.
Okay. So how long did you spend your time at the Clock Tower?
So I spent 3 years with them.
3 years. Okay.
Of course, that was a very big challenge for me to run 3 floors. Those 3 floors over there. And 3 floors, 3 different bars.
Okay.
Training, made my first menu, made some mistakes there, but learned from them slowly and gradually. And then, like whenever bartenders go out, I tell them always meet people, ask them what they're doing in the future, make your connections, and then see. So I still remember I went for a training at PCO at that time.
Right.
And PCO, and then there was a training with the Bacardi winner at that time, like the global winner.
Right.
I forgot the name of that guy, I think. So like it's like 2017 I'm talking about.
Okay.
I think Ron Vance, this was like
Ran Van Om.
Yeah. So that was the
Bacardi
guy.
Legacy.
Yeah, Bacardi Legacy winner, global. So he was there, but I met so many people. I met this entire fraternity over there. Like, okay, this is very close community in Delhi. And then somebody told me that they're opening a bar. Do you want to join?
Okay.
I said, okay, this is what I'm doing, but what sort of project are you opening? And the person knew that he is opening with somebody very big, but they never told us that this person is going to come. And I was already watching those videos on YouTube of Luka Chandani. And I never knew that I'm going to work with him, I'm going to join him. So after 3-4 months, I got to know that this is going to be Luka Chandani.
Okay.
So then I started working with him.
Okay.
I think that was a turning point for me in my entire career. If I say from more discipline to create drinks, look for inspiration everywhere. Inspirations are around.
Okay.
Everything can be a garnish. You only don't work for one glass, but you work from top to bottom for the entire glass.
Right.
It's not only about the liquid, but it's about the entire glass what you're presenting to the table.
Right.
So I think having Luka by my side was like walking under him or alongside him is like, I think it's literally shaped my career so well.
Okay. Can you like touch upon a few things which you really thought was groundbreaking working with Luka Chandani about? Maybe he changed your thought process or the way you looked at drinks, or because you were in a microbrewery.
Yes.
Of course, we all know it's mass business.
It's a very big business.
Yeah.
So like it's like you're serving more than 300, 400 people in a day.
Correct. And then you're working with a bartender who is
Yeah.
like the legend in the industry. I mean, what changed? What did you see?
So I think like that was quite a shift for me because coming from a background which servings mostly beers, less of cocktails, but I was also learning about the brewery at that time. Like, okay, how do you make a beer? How you make fermentation on? But I was very keen about learning more beverages and how to create drinks and how to make many and what sort of things goes into it. So when I started working with him, for me it's like, okay, it's not only about the drink what you're presenting, but there's a lot of BTS,
Right.
which is behind the scenes. When you talk about behind the scenes, it's your prep, it's your glassware, it's your ice, it's your ingredients, it's your research, which goes into it. So when I think the key point of that team was like whenever Monday, Tuesday is like generally a slow day for the industry, right? But for us, it is a research day. So we send every Monday, Tuesday, we send 2-3 people to the market and we research for the ingredients. What's new? And whenever somebody now, even some people ask me where this glass is from. I've never seen this glass. So I always tell them you have to go and look.
Right.
It's always, I don't go to fancy shops to buy stuff. I don't go to big shops. I know there will be a mass availability of everything over there. And it may be all other bars also having. I go to local small shops. I know if this piece is not going to come back, I'll tell them pack everything, whatever you have. And it's very reasonable. Trust me, whatever you buy from the bigger glassware shops,
Yes.
compared to that, it's very reasonable and you literally find, and you are giving a business to local people also at the end of the day, right?
Correct.
So for me, the research days were the best. We used to divide our team into 2 or 3 and we used to go to entire Delhi and to see, and very basic local market people. Like, to be honest, we used to go a market called Bhagirath. And that is only known for the electric appliances and lighting. Just imagine we found glasses over there also. And certain like mother of pearl glass and at very, very reasonable rates.
Okay.
So
So how large was your team then when you started off working with Lupachinali on Lair, right?
okay, yes. I think, that was a very diverse, big team to be around because we had at least 4 people in prep, 4 bar backs. Then we had a team of 10 bartenders.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And
And
Lair is what, about 60 seats? In
Lair is about 90 seats.
90 seats. Okay.
But Lair is 90 seats. Now I have a team of 7 people only,
Okay.
which is only operates Lair Delhi.
Okay.
We have one more product coming in, which will be in Gurgaon.
Okay.
So I'm also training few people there. For me, it's like, okay, if the team is big, I'll tell you what happened. There are few things. You start putting things on others. At the end of the day, we are bartenders. We are not doing we're not saving the world. We're just making drinks and we're doing a job. But the problem is like when you have big things, you start looking, okay, if I'm not doing, he will do or she will do. So that's why right now, whenever I hire a team, I hire a small, tight team because the thing with a small and tight team, that everybody is responsible for what they're doing. And I know what everybody's responsibilities, so I can literally ask them why it's not done or why you are lacking on this, what sort of help you need on that.
Right.
So that team was very big, people coming from very different backgrounds, hotels, mostly from hotels. I think, and then some people are coming from nightclubs also at that time. So, and because before even Sidecar we opened, so that was a bar which is ahead of its time.
Right.
So that's why the product didn't work well because it was very ahead of its time what we were doing at that time.
Okay. So I really like the way you put it across, saying we're really not saving the world, we're just making
Milk
drinks.
drinks.
At that point in time for Lair to be like way forward, what are the challenges you faced? One, I want to understand from 2 perspectives. One is from a consumer perspective and one is from your team's perspective. You built like fantastic drinks and then you're taking it to a consumer who's probably not seen something like that out of it. So how did you navigate through that whole situation?
So, like I told you before, we learn from our mistakes. So what mistakes we made at Noel, we were not perfect, to be honest, that time. Because what we missed that time, the connection between the bartender and the consumer over there.
Okay.
So when we opened here, we said, okay, we're not going to do the same mistake. What we're going to do, we're going to bridge that gap.
Okay.
We're going to educate people.
Okay.
But we're not going to educate them at certain scale or a certain level that they will feel, oh, what is happening? Because nobody wants to get into science. And now people are using Dotawap, people are using this. But the consumer who's coming, the guest who's coming in, they are not interested in your science. They are come here to taste your drink, taste your, have your hospitality. And so if I say, like, at that time, we started educating people on a very basic level. PCO did that in a very certain way, but that must be 5 to 10% people, right? But are people open for experiments? At that time, they were no. But we said, okay, we're going to do small experiments. We're going to pick those kind of ingredients. We're going to pick those kind of glassware, which people are a little familiar of.
Okay.
Like, we're going to do those ingredients that they want. Okay, if I'm doing a milk fat wash, how I'm doing and why I'm doing. They should be curious about it. Like, now people say, now everybody's started doing milk fat wash, and I started removing it from my menu.
Okay.
Because I don't want to do that. So for me, like, what everybody's doing, I'm not doing that. So to bridge that gap, we started, going in the table. So from our tea, there's always one person on the table, might be taking your order, might be helping you with something and communicating, but in a very fun way.
Right.
We don't want you to educate you with a textbook method. We want you to educate you in a fun way.
Yes.
Okay, even I'll give you one example that, okay, I have a drink which is like 10 ingredients in it, right? Milk fat wash, then I make ristretto, then I do an infusion of Earl Grey or something. We only give one information at a time. We can only give why I've done a milk fat wash and how it's been done. If I give you like all the things, you will start sounding like it's very boring. I'm not here to, listen to your all yarn what we want to give. So a lot of bartenders, what they are doing a mistake right now is also they're not coming with the shorter version of explanation.
Yes. Okay.
So
I get your point.
So there's always a 2 version of explanations. So the versions are like, you go a very lengthy explanation, which is only for the industry, like people like you, me, and other people. But a guest don't want to listen to that lengthy conversation, right? They just want to listen what interesting.
Yeah. What
So
is
just
interesting about
so
it?
I always tell my team, you always carry 2 kind of explanations, one shorten and one
Longer. Okay. And then you started operating Lair, and then you started winning the awards, Asia 50 Best, and you
discovery. We were
you were an Asia 50 Best Discovery. Then you also won the Spirits Best Bartender.
Best bartender and 30 best bartender.
30 Best. So what changed after that?
I think nothing.
I think.
I'll tell you what changed.
Okay.
It's a lot of responsibility, to be very honest.
Okay.
Because I'm carrying those accolades, carrying those awards, and like people will start looking up to me in that certain manner. Whenever I tell someone, like, if you won some award, if you're growing up the ladder, like you going up, try to be more humble and show more humility at that time, because everybody's looking at you. You don't have to be. It's just an award, guys. At the end of the day, and who voted for you, guys? The industry, right?
Yes.
People.
Yes.
So why they will vote for you? If you're humble, if you're a good listener and you listen to each other, you respect each other. That's what I think. And even end of the day, your skill comes into play. But I've said, like, awards. A lot of people say, like, I want to win the award. But I would say, like, if you do your job, awards will follow.
Okay.
It will follow you for sure. Whatever you're doing, just keep doing that with the full heart, passion and everything.
Is there something, I mean, I don't know, something funny which happened after you won the award and things like that, or some conversation which you say that this is one funny conversation which happened after?
Okay.
So like maybe someone called you and said, I know I won an award, I want you to come and open a bar with me or consult, something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of offers. Till now. Like people, I'll tell you. So till now, people like offers, like, you want to come and open a place. What do you want to do with us? Why don't you come? And I never thought of leaving Lair at that time. I never do that. I don't know. In future, might be, I don't know. But because that's my baby. Sometimes it's not about money. They're paying me very well. I'm very well with them. Like, I'm earning my bread and butter. Of course, everybody wants money. But sometimes it's not about money. Money will surely fall on whenever you want it. But I think what matters to me, I wanted to give something new to the market.
Okay.
And I was automatically, Lair was a platform which was giving that kind of liberty and freedom to me to do all those stuffs. By the way, if so, like, for example, at Lair, we don't stop any bartender using any liquor from the back.
Okay.
We tell them, if you're using anything, you can pick a bottle, punch it, that's it.
Okay.
We have all the liberty to do, but do something sensible.
Okay.
I don't want you to do like you wasting, because end of the day, it's money, right? So that sort of liberty, everybody has it.
Okay.
And now even I have a team of people. I know if it's not busy, I send people early. Go home, because, and I spend almost 14 to hours like, at Lair. It's like my second, not even, I will not call second home, I will call it my first home, because second home is where I go and sleep.
Right.
Yeah. So like things have changed. People want to offer jobs and everything, but see what you want to do, what your heart says. And even the people who literally want to like offering you job, are they understanding you? Like, are they understanding your concept? What do you want to do, and what sort of skill you bring on the table? So I would say offers will come for sure if you are skillful, but choose your path wisely, what you want to do. And so you have a short-term goal and you have a long-term goal.
Right.
So I'm always focusing on a short-term goal first, because that's what I want. Right now, my short-term goal is to change the menu and open a new property. I'm not thinking of anything else.
Okay.
I want to be in that moment. So offers will come and go for sure.
Okay. But you also decided to move out of the country and work in another country. So what was the thought process behind it?
Yeah, so that was coming to my long-term goal in that time. Like, I wanted to open a place outside the country.
Okay.
I went there, I tried everything. It's just, to be really honest, what we are doing is we are underestimating ourselves.
Okay.
Till now. And what
you realized that?
I realized
after
that.
you went there? Where did you go, by the way?
I was in Vancouver for a year.
Okay.
I haven't seen the entire Canada, North America. I would say we are still underestimating ourselves.
Okay.
What happens outside is like, if you go to a foreign country or in North America, you don't have any people, passionate people working for hospitality. That's a sidekick for them.
Oh.
So why? Because a person is doing two jobs. They might be working in Walmart in the morning, 9 to 5, 6 o'clock. They're gonna jump behind the bar. They're gonna make their tip. They're gonna go back home.
Okay.
That's the response.
So what kind of a bar did you work there?
So I've done one project also, which is like a small cozy bar, and then there's a bar which is very massive. It's like Indian bar.
Okay.
Which has 300 covers.
Okay.
And there was 3 turnarounds.
Wow. Okay.
So 900 people in a day. And trust me, like when we talk about experiments and everything, we are far, far ahead from from other people also. What they're doing, they're still stuck on Moscow mules. Some or the other, majority I'm talking about, the community is not there. They're not tied to each other.
Okay.
So what brings me back to brought me back to India is like, I would say, the community is so tight.
Right.
And especially in Delhi, everybody's up for everyone. And even if you want something, you say that, okay, I am here from Soka, I don't have that England, I don't have that equipment. Somebody will definitely reach you and they'll say, I'm bringing that.
Okay.
So that sort of community we have, they show on every guest shifts. No matter if...
I think now I'll tell everyone that Navjot came back to India is only because of the community.
For sure.
Yeah.
I would say community is one of the I was missing. Of course, I was missing. If you talk about the business aspect, there was not much growth in that sector also. But when I talk about the culture, the community, which we are carrying the passion, I've not seen anywhere else.
Okay.
So I said, okay, I'm going to go back.
Okay. So you came back and joined Lair again as a team. So
okay, that's an interesting story. When I came back, like there was a proper... I had a proper Excel sheet of people offering me, and then I had 12 offers, to be very honest. Like, if I tell you, and I made end up like, okay, this is what. But before even joining anywhere, the owner of Lair, Mr. Dhruv and Joy, they said, no, just sit with us for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Of course, I wanted to join that place back, and I've been there, I'm seeing the changes and everything, okay, the bar is not going to stop if you leave a place, to be very honest. Like a lot of people think that, oh, if I leave the place and this is not going to work, I'm not there, people still going to come. There might be few changes, but that will be internal changes. that will be noticed by the internal team, not by the external team. External team never know. So people say, I have my PR, this place will not run. I think we are highly mistaken. Like we are thinking that we are running the place. No, it's people who are coming in, they're running the place. As a team, we are running the place. So I sat with them, and then they gave me an offer which I cannot refuse. So, so yeah.
Right. Okay.
So that's like, and joining Bar Lair is like very, like, to be like it's going, like again, coming back home. It was very, very, very good for me. Like, okay, I'm at the right place now.
Okay. So what do you see in the future? I mean, you come back, they gave you an offer, and what is happening with Lair? And you said you're doing one more bar. Tell us more about it.
So the bar we're doing is in Gurgaon.
Okay.
Okay. We believe in building a community and market, to be honest.
Right.
When we opened Lair and at the complex we have right now, there was only a single bar. Hoots was there, and Perch. And Perch and Hoots has this loyal clientele, to be honest. They have like, you can say, cult. They literally go for Perch and Hoots only. But we're the only one. And when we opened Lair at that time, there was not even a single, but the footfall of that market was 100 a day might be.
Okay.
We were at the initial stage before we like just getting open, COVID happened. We sat at home for 6 months.
Okay.
And even after that we opened, only there will be like 10 people coming in a day. 15 people again, sale of 10 grand, 20 grand. This is what we're doing. But like this was a tough time for us, to be real. Like we survived for 3-4 months, and then we sat internally and said we're not gonna change the plan. We're gonna stick what we are doing. And that if you see that market right now, it has 6 bars, and that market is like boom. And rentals, what we have paid at that time is triple the rentals what we right now they're offering to others. So it's a huge like, and in Lair with Gurgaon which we're opening, we again picked a spot which is not very famous as of now.
Okay.
And we want to make it famous. We will surely make it famous. We believe in ourselves now.
Okay.
And that project is gonna be a little bigger.
Right.
When we opened this Lair, we never thought we're gonna get this much footfall. We thought we were gonna cater 100 people a day. On Saturday, we averagely catered now to 50 people.
Okay.
This is 90 seats only, but there's a lot of turnaround, just standing in, and my 90% sale comes from the cocktails.
Great.
It's 10%. We don't even have a state drinks menu since day one.
Okay.
Only cocktail menu, and then we are generating most of the list. So averaging on 340 to 350 cocktail from Thursday to Sunday.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Thursday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday like always a slow. Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday always like a easy day for us.
Okay.
But Thursday, Sunday we are literally. So if somebody is coming on, like my friends are coming on Friday, Saturday, so like don't come on Friday, Saturday. So coming to the Gurgaon here, what we are doing over there is like it's gonna be much bigger. We don't have a lab here, a prep room here at this Lair, and doing this kind of cocktails and this kind of prep, this kind of glassware. We know how we are doing, like, because literally it's a lot of it's a painful, guys. Like if you work that Lair, you can work at any big operation, because one person is doing 10 things.
Right.
Okay, so we call the team early to do all the prep. Over there, I'm getting a prep room, which is gonna be like more easy. Yeah, I have 4 stations here. Over there, I'll be getting 6 stations. Basically, like bit bigger. And I'm just changed. So I've customized the entire stations, cocktail station from inside. I made some changes from what we have seen from the like this experience from this Lair, that what changes need to be done.
Okay.
And the cocktail programs. Now there's a story, like everybody, when we're sitting on a table for both the bars, we thought like what kind of program we're gonna do for both. People say like let's do the same. I said I'm not gonna do the same.
Okay.
I have another space, and I have another bar, and I have a better space. I want to utilize it. So we'll be running 2 different menus in both the Lairs.
Okay.
That's what we.
So you won't get what you get in current Lair in the new.
What's
cooking about the cocktail menu? What's the thought process for it?
Okay. So right now, what cocktail menu we have is inspired from the different, like geographical locations of the country. The good thing and the bad thing about the country is right now, like we have everything available everywhere.
Yeah.
Some or the other. So you can say like I'm picking that particular thing from that region. You might get a better quality, but you get everything everywhere. So taking inspiration from them from the geographical regions of the country. We have created this menu, this one. The new one we are talking, so what I believe in is like, I'm not going to reveal what I'm doing next,
Okay.
but what I believe, like, we started doing the painting glass. So I believe in setting trends. I don't follow.
Okay.
That's how you make your mark and leave an impact, an impression on a guest.
Okay.
So what I believe, I want to set another trend on that side. And you will see this trend in coming 3-4 months, that
Alright.
this is what I started doing, and it's going to be trending in the entire country. We believe in setting trends.
Correct.
We want to do something very different, but others are doing, we don't want to follow.
Okay. Okay. I mean, that's a really deep thought of building a trend rather than following a
Rather than
trend.
following.
Now, how do you kind of instill this within your team? I wanted to know, how do you instill that kind of thought within the team that we are going to, start a new trend? Or how do you go about training this to the team?
I think if you have attended the masterclass by Shinjo Khan, he must have linguist systems in place,
correct,
right?
Correct.
We believe in the same.
Yeah.
And not only in the recipes, we build a system that if somebody comes to Lair as a fresher, how we gonna train them? So we just put them on a floor for a week, or might be a month.
Okay.
It depends on the person, how quickly he's learning or she's learning. Then we put them behind for the bar back. We made them do such sort of work that they should, okay. So going to the prep, finding it curious, like, okay, this is what is happening here. Going to the glassware, why we are painting the glass, why there's always a why.
Right.
So in my team, there's always a why. We always ask questions to each other, why we want to do this and why you want to justify that thing how we will justify that thing on a table.
Right.
So building that kind of energy and culture, I think it automatically flows.
Right.
It automatically flows to the team.
Okay.
Now they know their roles. Now they know what to do. And trust me, like a lot of people who are literally left us also, they're doing great.
Right.
My head bartender Rinku is working at Swift now, Swift Bars.
Okay.
And like whatever we create at Lair is like we see what's happening in London. We don't implement the same, but we follow. Okay, if they can do, why not?
Right.
Why not us? So it's always we try to set the trends in certain way that it will always flow in the team, and then always a question, because they know that if somebody making some drink, then there will be a question like, gonna come by.
Right.
Why are you doing this?
Yes.
And this thing I learned from Luca.
Okay.
So I still remember somebody clarified the Campari, and Luca was on a visit. I took them to the bar, and then Luca asked, like, why you clarified the Campari? Because does Campari know that you clarified the Campari?
Yeah.
So getting the whole. So and there's like, why? Why you want to take that certain liquid? If you don't have an explanation, I would say that's a problem.
Okay.
So that certain kind of energy flows in the team. Be curious to the things, ingredients, and everything.
Okay.
And still we follow the same practices what we're doing at Noel.
Okay.
We still have our research day. We still, everybody, if you're free, you're still looking for a glassware. If you're free, you're looking for new ingredients in using in a certain way.
Okay.
So we don't let anybody stand free on our bar. Like, I remember like when we used to do no business at Noel, and if we're standing like this, there used to be like a moment like everybody's like questioning you, like, why are you standing like this?
Okay.
So that sort of energies and that sort of system we have put in place, that everybody is know what their job roles and what they want to do.
Okay. Okay. So now you're taking Lair across the country and outside through guest ships and all of that. What does a guest ship mean to you when you're visiting another? What are you trying to bring the experience of Lair into the guest ship, or you're trying to bring the thought process of the new trend-setting glassware, what you use? Is that what you bring into your guest ship? What do you actually intend to do in your guest ship?
I would say we want to showcase Lair as a whole, as a team, and as a trend-setting bar. So whenever I go to, because this question like literally comes in my mind also, like sometimes, like, why we do guest ships?
Yes.
And then when we ask people why, because certain lot of people will come, they'll drink, they'll forget. That's what. So for me, like, even in the guest ship, they start taking shots and all, right? This is what happens, right? And this is not for the people who are literally in the industry and they are literally on a pinnacle or they're doing this for the young bartenders.
Yes.
To be very honest, like, we want them to come and say that this is a drink, and we want them to pay for that particular drink. I'll tell you why, because what I learned from, I know you must be aware of Gagan
Yes.
Sharma. So he told me one thing which is like literally stayed with me, and like, Navjot, till the time somebody will not pay for your drink, right? A young bartender coming to you in a guest shift and not paying for a drink, they will not remember.
Yeah.
Because they were not using their hard-earned money.
Correct.
But still remember when we used to travel all the way, but now everything is so accessible that you have Avinash Kapoli, you have KK, you have Navjot, you have Shantanu, you have other bartenders. That young bartenders come and like, I want. Sometimes I guess text like people saying, I want the recipe. I said, why? Why you want the recipe? Like, can you send me the recipe? I said, I want for the competition. No. Till the time you not build that product, you will not feel connect with it. Yeah. So till the time you don't like spend your hard-earned money, you will not feel the drink.
Okay.
And even everybody is like behind milk washing, do this, do that. But I'm telling every young bartender, when you are going to a guest shift, ask that bar also that what kind of classic cocktails you're doing. And can you make me a classic cocktail? I want to taste, because a person who literally trying a clarified Negroni doesn't know like what an actual Negroni is tasting like, or mezcal Negroni, or might be anything. So I want like young bartenders who come and see what is happening and take inspiration and then go and implement. But don't go and implement blindly. Do your research on the same thing.
Okay.
I don't even, whenever it's written in the book, like if I do, like some people say, oh sir, I'm making a Negroni, just 12 stirs. No, you cannot be 12 stirs. You have to build, ice is different, temperature is different, glass is different. So you have to ask, you have to bring your palate, you have to develop your palate, and then you have to make mistakes, and then you will learn. So going to a guest shift, I think it's for the young bartender. Showing your culture is one thing, but I want more young people to come to the guest shifts and to learn.
Right. So if I may ask you, I mean, in no particular order, what are your top 3 bars which you would like to go and drink in there?
I'm not.
If I'm going to say one, then it is going to be difficult. I mean, just
okay, no particular.
No, it's not about any of the bars which are on the best 50, best 30.
Yeah.
I'm just saying generally, I would like to go.
You want to talk about the India, or like you want to talk about as a whole?
I'll leave that to you.
Okay, not being out much as of now to the other world. Like I've seen like few bars in. I would say I will only tell you about India, like what bars I like. I will go to Hoots any day.
Okay,
that's my favorite spot. Like that's where I want to. I think I came here yesterday, so I like the vibe. I will come here any day.
Okay.
I love the vibe. I love the energy. So Soka is, again, I'm gonna name 4. I'm not gonna do 3 now. Then I will surely go to Home.
Home. Okay.
For sure. For their impeccable hospitality, to be honest. And one more bar, if I would say I want to go, I will go to Sidecar.
Okay.
Because there's no particular order, but still, I would love to. These 3 bars are my favorites. Hoots is just 10 steps away from me. So Hoots is, I would say, like for me, Hoots is always on the top.
Okay.
I'm named it like now. You don't know particular, but I name.
Yeah.
Hoots is always on for me. Is on the top.
Okay. No, Navjot, it's been great listening to your story, right? It's an incredible achievement, I think, what you've done. Now, my next question, I mean, you spoke a lot about young bartenders who should come out and drink and all these things, right? But when we look at your journey, it's from hotels to then to microbreweries and to bars, and now I'm sure you have a lot of bartenders who have trained and they're growing and things like that. Through your experience and your journey, what do you think is that one fundamental skill set or some sort of an advice you want to give a bartender saying, यार तुम जब काम करो ना ये पहले सीख जाओ.
So what I believed is like passion. There's nothing bigger than it. Okay, people say passion doesn't give you money. I said it gives. Like it will definitely put a food on your plate. It will definitely give you good money if you're following that passion with the. I've seen people, okay, I do bartending, but I want to do 10 other things only. Like this. And I think another thing which I learned over the years is patience. Waiting for it.
Okay.
You have to build that. Because when I was a young bartender and then there was a lot of events that are happening and nobody's calling me, because I don't know anyone, right? But I then realized that this my time gonna come. Then people gonna like, literally, come for this event. Let's do that. Let's do this. And over that time, I built so much of patience. Now I don't see what others are doing. I only do what I want to do, and now I'll focus on that.
Right.
So I would say focus, patience, and of course discipline. Because when you are at a young age of your bartending career, you make mistakes, but don't repeat them, please. You go to other bars, not only for drinking but observing. I used to go to other bars only for observing.
Right.
For me, asking them why is happening, why is this. I go to some other bar and guest is calling, I still call them like, please, guest is calling, because that is inbuilt now. So for me, it's like building, like having that patience, because you have to wait for everything, and everything will definitely come at the right time. Don't run, because I've seen bartenders winning a competition and switching jobs very quickly, right? They don't have patience then. They don't stick to make your own baby. What? Okay. People say Bar Lair for me, like, because I've given that time and invested that heart, and everybody, not only me, but my entire team has done that. So people say these people are not promoting me. This bar is not letting me go for a guest shift. But are you giving anything back to that bar? They're paying you salary, right?
Yes.
They're paying you a certain amount for you.
Yes.
Like, but are you doing your job right? Are you putting your hard work, passion, everything there? Or you were just running another program, that's it?
Right.
So are you going for a walk, or are you going for some new adventure every day?
Right. So I would like summarize it and put it saying it's like Navjot's 3-pronged mantras. Have patience, focus on your passion, and be disciplined.
Be disciplined.
Amazing. It's been great to hear from you and your stories.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best with your new bar. And would love to keep seeing you more and more in Namma Bengaluru.
Yeah. And this is a beautiful place. Like, I really enjoyed the vibe, guys.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you so
Navjot. It was a pleasure chatting with you. Cheers.
Thank you.